What if some of the greatest high school basketball teams and programs of all time competed to see who was the best? Who do you think would win? What if we had Oak Hill versus like an all-time Oak Hill team versus an all-time Montverde team, or an all-time Simeon team versus an all-time Oakland Soldiers team? Or what if that Chino Hill squad went against LaMelo Ball Spire team? Who would win? Well, you came to the right place. We were able to put together a Hoops Galore Invitational and invited 12 of the best high school teams of all time to compete to see who really is number one. There were a couple teams who we invited who, didn't want to make the travel or didn't want to compete just because they wanted to see how this first tournament would go. But they said that, just depending on how things go, they would definitely join for the next one. So in this holiday Hoops Galore Invitational, we have 12 teams, and I'll go over those 12 teams. So for team number one, we have the Oakland Soldiers, one of the greatest teams of all time if we talk about, EYBL, AAU type program. You have LeBron James, you have Jalen Green, you have, Aaron Gordon, you have Stanley Johnson, Dior Johnson. You just have a lot of good players. So they're coming in as, the number one seed. And we're really excited to see what a young LeBron James and Jalen Green, and then you also have Aaron Gordon, can do to all compete together to see if they can win this championship. And then for the number 2 ranked team, we have Montverde Academy. So we have a Cooper Flag on this team, as well as a Ben Simmons. You have D'Angelo Russell. You just have a lot of good players on this team. You have I can't even think. Joel Embiid, Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham. Just a lot of talent on this team, and we'll see how they can compete to see if they will be able to play that Oakland Soldiers team. And then, so our number 3 ranked spot, we have Oak Hill Academy. Now, this Oak Hill Academy is very, very, very loaded, very deep. You have Michael Beasley, you have Kevin Durant, you have Rajon Rondo, you have Cam Thomas, Carmelo Anthony, Cole Anthony. You just have a lot of bucket getters on this team, so this is going to be a very, very, very good sneaky team to watch. And then coming in next at rank number 4, or seed number 4, we have Chino Hills. So we have the young Chino Hills team with the 3 Ball brothers. You have Okonwu, and then you have Eli Scott. This is going to be a very good team. Now, the big thing about these games is these games are going to be, 3-minute quarters, 3 fouls, just because, since we have some teams who only have 5 players, so that way, they can run up and down the floor, and we can get, some very, 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 the best type of basketball we can get that's very tight, very good, so that way, people aren't going into the fourth quarter gassed, and then other teams who have a deep roster kind of make a bigger run that just won't make it fair. So next we go to our 5 seed. So our 5 seed is going to be IMG Academy. IMG is going to be a very, 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 very sneaky team. If you see their roster, they're not really a team that you would think is just going to, just jump out and beat you. But they do have a lot of good players. They have, some solid players who all play together. They all work together. They play real hard. They play real good. So this is, going to be a very sneaky team that, could very, very, very well make it very far if you take them lightly. Number 6, we have Spire Academy. So we have the LaMelo Ball and Rocket Watts Spire team with Jackson as the big center. They're going to be a team to watch. You have Gardner and Taylor, who are going to be very key on defense and also catching lobs and just dunking. But it's really the main 3 to focus on are going to be Watts, Jackson, and Ball. Moving on to seed number 7, we have Simeon with Derrick Rose and Benji Wilson. You also have Taylor Horton Tucker, Anderson, and then you have Kendrick Nunn as well. This is going to be an interesting team to follow because, they do have a lot of athletes. You They have Benji Wilson as their big man, so we're going to see how him and Derrick Rose can do in that pick and roll, and then see if the other Simeon greats can hit from the catch and shoot. The ranked 18, we have the Georgia Generation of Miracles. This is just a team of the best Georgia high school basketball players that I have seen and witnessed. So you have, Jaylen Brown, Kobe Simmons, Brandon Boston, Jared Harper, Malik Beasley, Sharif Cooper, Isaac Okoro, EJ Montgomery, Kaiser Gates, Colin Sexton. It's just a team of bucket getters. So it's going to be interesting to see how they are going to all play together, how they're going to move the ball, how they're going to rotate on defense, and will they have what it takes to lead this team to victory. And then we have the number 9 seed is going to be Buford, which is my brother's high school basketball team. So they were state champions in Georgia. They have a very, very, very good team. The key players to look at for that team are going to be, Jonathan Miles, Alex Jones, David Vidi, Marcus Watson, and then Bobby Miller. Those are going to be kind of the big ones to focus on, because, all of those guys are going to be able to get buckets at will. Jonathan Miles is going to be really big at holding down the paint and getting rebounds and probably guarding the best matchup, so that's going to be interesting to see. And then also seeing who's going to be able to stay in front of Alex Jones and who's going to be able to protect the ball, because we know that he goes for a lot of steals, and he typically gets a lot of steals as well. And then moving on to the ranked 10 team, we have the Blue Chips. So you have the young LeBron James Jr. Blue Chips team. So, but they're just made as high schoolers. So that way, it's just not an easy sweep of going against, people who have middle school talent. So it's going to be very interesting to watch. You see that team? Moving on, the rank 11 team is going to be my YMCA / men's league team. So that's going to be interesting to watch. The key player is going to be watching a more experienced Jonathan Miles kind of take over the game. So if teams can kind of stop him and slow him down, then they have a very good chance. The YMCA team doesn't really have, a deep bench or deep inside presence, just more guard play. So I don't really see them making it too far, if we're being completely honest, going into these rounds. And then lastly, the number 12 seed is going to be kind of some players that I played with and against in high school. Well, not against, but more so with. So the big players to watch are going to be Marcus Sheffield, a young freshman year, John Miles, Lataf Felder, you have Quincy in the paint, you have Cephas in the paint, you have Alex Changum in the paint. So it's really going to be interesting to see how these guys play together, if people are going to be able to make shots, if anybody's going to be able to step up, or if it's just going to be Marcus Sheffield just kind of taking the ball and going coast to coast. But, since we got that little preview out the way, like I said, it's mainly going to be 3-minute quarters, 3 fouls, just to get some good tight-knit basketball. How everything will go is we'll have the full gameplay, just kind of broken up, and then we'll have a highlight with some post-commentary. If you don't want to watch the full, 12 to 15-minute gameplay, you can catch the quick 3 to 5-minute highlight with some post-commentary. And then at the end of everything, we will go over, who made the all-tournament team, who was first team all defense, first team all offense, who was, the tournament MVP, the championship MVP, and kind of who made these all-tournament teams. In sporting the 76ers jerseys, we have Buford, and here's the starting roster for Buford. The key notables to look after are going to be J. Miles, A. Jones, D. Vidi, and M. Watson. Those are going to be kind of the key players. B. Miller is going to be a sneaky one. Just coming off the bench or sometimes starting, sparking it up from 3. Those are going to be the big key players to watch. And then sporting the Bucks jerseys, we have the Caleb High School team. We have the Nigerian pro Taffy Tila coming off the bench. Also have NFL superstar Alex Changum, who will be starting and also coming off the bench. We have a young Lataf Felder, who's going to be a very key player for this team. We also have a young Caleb Miles as well, a 3-point threat. They don't really have too much big presence, but John Miles and Marcus M. Sheffield are going to be the two big playmakers to look for. Then we go into the Bulls, which is going to be the Georgia Generation of Miracles. We have some of the best high school players from the state of Georgia that I have seen personally with my own eyes. This is going to be a very, very, very deep team, but we are going to see how will they work together as a unit. Will they be able to swing the ball, play defense, score when needed? We're expecting them to be one of the big favorites. And then sporting the Cavs jerseys, we have the Spire team with LaMelo, Gardner, Rocket Watts. We have Jackson, who's going to be very big, and then we also have Taylor as well. And then next, sporting the Celtics, we have the young Chino Hill squad. So we have the three ball brothers. We have Scott and Okongwu. This is going to be a very good team, but also they only have 5 players, so we're going to see how they work. And then next, sporting the Clippers jerseys, we have Montverde. We have inexperienced Joel Embiid. You have Scotty Barnes, Cunningham. You have R.J. Barrett. We have Cooper Flagg, who ended up making his team. You have Jalen Duren. You have number 1 high school rated player Ben Simmons. You have D'Angelo Russell. So Ben Simmons and D'Lo get to pair with each other. We have Dakari Johnson. We have Precious on the team as well. And this is going to be a very good team. Next, sporting Memphis, we have IMG Academy. This is going to be a very, very, very sneaky team, I feel like, who might be able to make a pretty deep run going in. They don't seem like they have a lot of, big name players who can really take over the floor if you just look at overalls. But I really feel like since it's IMG and they are, a big academy, they're going to be able to push it and go pretty far. Next, for the Hawks, we have some players that I played with in the YMCA. As well as just like regular men's league. So this is a team going with. This team is really going to be relying heavily on Jay Miles. He's going to be the biggest one that's really going to be carrying them. So if they slow him down, then they got that team. This is going to be a very tough team to beat. This Miami Heat team is the Oakland Soldiers, all-time Oakland Soldiers AAU team. So they have LeBron James, they have Kiwi Gardner, Trevor Dunbar, Jalen Green, Kendrick Perkins, Aaron Gordon. They're a really deep team. This Hornets team is the Blue Chips team. So that Blue Chips team that we saw when LeBron James Jr. and Mikey Williams were younger, they're just upgraded now as, they would be in high school so that they can compete because, middle school team is going to be good. This Utah Jazz team is going to be the Oak Hill Academy team. So this is all-time Oak Hill. So we have Cole Anthony, Cam Thomas, Dwayne Bacon, Brandon Jennings, we have Rajon Rondo, we have Michael Beasley, we have Carmelo Anthony, we have Kevin Durant. This is a very, very, very deep team. I don't know how anybody's really going to be able to stop this squad. It will be a miracle too. And then we have the Kings team, which has Benji Wilson, Nick Anderson, we have Taylor Horton Tucker, Kendrick Nunn, as well as Derrick Rose. So we're going to see how these teams fare moving forward, and it's going to be very interesting to see.